One of the great things about where the deacon and I and the altar server sit up here is we get to watch you. We get to see how you look at one another. And there's nothing more beautiful to me than the way a parent looks at their child. Just beautiful. We see that in grand style whenever we have our children's choir up front. And you know, you have all these parents. There's almost 30 of them. I mean, it's a huge group, and they do a beautiful job. But you can see the parents. They're just glowing with admiration and love, affection for their precious children. And it's not just the parents. It's all of us. Because they're all of our children. I see that when some of you look at the baby sitting 2 rows over, or the mother child sitting close to you, the father's child. It's beautiful. And that's the way my parents look at me, with incredible affection and love, although I didn't always see it. I mean, much to my shame, and I know my parents always looked at me with love and affection. That's just who they are. That's who we are as parents. But as I was growing up, I didn't always see that, and I can remember to my horror now saying to them, "What are you looking at? I didn't do anything wrong. Why are you staring at me? I didn't do anything." Now, I was the middle child, as you know, and I've told you this before, and I was the bad one. So usually I had done something wrong, but not always. And it might have been this guilt, it might have been my own sinfulness, but I was blind. I was in the dark. I didn't see clearly the depth of their love for me. And that can happen to all of us. Our fear of the Lord is not based, as disciples, on fear of punishment, but our fear of the Lord is based on that we are so loved that we don't want to disappoint. We don't want our lives to slip through our fingers without having loved as we have been loved. One of the most powerful moving scenes in the movie Schindler's List is when you get to the very end of the movie and Schindler is realizing that the few possessions that he still has remaining could have truly saved lives. That he could have given more, even though he gave away fortunes. He could have done more. You see, the servant who receives the 1 talent in today's gospel passage is not an evil person. Fearful, yes. Slothful, maybe. Lazy, yes. But he could rightly say, I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't do anything evil. The problem is, this is such an adolescent way to look at our lives. Because when we're in the infancy of our spiritual development, it's all about avoiding evil, not doing wrong. But it cannot stop there. It cannot. How can we call ourselves servant of the Lord if we never serve? Just because I don't do anything wrong, evil, does not mean that I'm a servant. How can we say that we are disciples of Christ, being conformed to Christ, if we too are not willing to lay down our lives in love for one another? We have been entrusted with an incredible gift, the gift of life, the gift of time. Each one of us uniquely made in God's image, with various talents and abilities given to us that we might gift those around us. For we are truly mystical body of Christ. This is the age of the church, the age of the mystical body. And while we're told in today's gospel passage, which is ultimately all about being a good steward, I know this because I read the notes in my Bible and it said, this parable is about good stewardship. This era is our time to shine, to be a light, that the world may see you and see Christ's love shining forth through you. Because the tragedy would be, and this is what I fear, that I approach the Lord at the end of my life, and I know that he will be looking at me with great love and great affection. A love beyond anything I could imagine. And I fear that we might, in our childish, say, why are you looking at me? I didn't do anything wrong. It's not enough. Even worse, I didn't do anything with the gifts, the time, the talent you gave me.